going, my fellow Homo sapiens? It's your boy, the legendary Hadou, and today I'm doing my views and thoughts on the manga Prison School, the first few chapters, starting on where the anime left off. This and more coming at you next. So after watching the anime, I was so motivated to find out what was going to happen next. I started reading the manga where the anime left off. I was curious, who was these people after the anime? Who was these new girls? What was going to happen to the boys? So where I start off in the manga, we actually see how the boys are adapting after prison. And what we see here is the boys seem to be having a lot of success, and a lot of them seem to be doing very, very well. We have Soji, he has himself a girlfriend. We even see Kiyoshi, he's still having his girlfriend with Chio. And we see the boys really having a lot of good success with the girls. Now, even when we come down to Raji, the girls like beating him up and he just takes the hits. You know, he's having success. But there's one boy that's not really having success, and that's going to be Joji. And I really like how they did Joji after the prison, because now it seems like they started to develop Joji some type of personality. So when we go to Joji, he's kind of alone. The only thing he has is his aunts. And if you remember my review of the anime, I said Joji really didn't stand out. So now, you know, he's not having success with the girls, and he's starting to regret being out of prison. So he comes up with this idea that it was better when they was in prison because the boys kind of worked together to escape, and they kind of worked together to do certain things, where now the boys are with their girlfriends and with other friends, and they're hanging out with different people, and he's all alone. Joji just doesn't really have anyone. So he starts to act out. So he goes butt naked, he puts these ropes all on him, on himself, and he runs around, he's scaring the girls. And I'm like, come on now, bruh. There's only 5 boys that's going to this school. The likelihood for them catching you and identifying you is very, very high. So he's thinking that he was better in prison. He think that he was a better man in prison because he was able to do so much more. So his game plan now is to do something that would get him sent back to prison. And not just that, I mean, he's just going all in. You know, you got these ropes on, this kind of like bondage, and he's just going around scaring people. And I really enjoy that. I'm not going to lie to you. I really kind of like him running around scaring the girls. So we have Raji. He noticed that Joji is trying to go back to prison. He's noticed that Joji is acting out. And Raji goes in to save Joji before he makes a mistake and gets sent to prison. And it's kind of funny because Joji is definitely getting ready to get himself set up, and Raji comes in with the save. But not just that, we have some girl come in from the side, and she gives Joji like a cupcake or something to let her know, like, I think you're cool, and just kind of like, let's be friends. And that really kind of just fixed Joji for the time being. Now we're gonna get to the principal of the school. So we have this new group. This new group they call the Above Student Council, and they're talking to the principal, and they're saying, you know what these girls did to these boys is unacceptable. They must be punished. And the principal agreed with it. He says, you know what? I don't have bias. I don't have favoritism. Everyone must follow the rules. And it's one thing that I do. I make sure people follow the rules. So who is the Above Student Council? So we have 3 girls. The first girl, we have Kate. She's the president of the student council, or the Above Student Council. And she's kind of like Mari, but right now, it seems like she doesn't have that misandry that goes with like how Mari is. She just seems like a person that's going to sit back, dictates orders. She's the smart one. She doesn't really get her hands dirty. Then for the second, we have Riza, and I really like her character design. She has this mysterious, dark, goth look to her, and she walks around with a kendo stick, so you know she looks badass. I mean, I really like her. I was really putting a lot of stock in this girl because she looks really, really cool, and I just want to know so much more about her. And then we have Mitsuko. Now, Mitsuko, I really like her. Now, she is the girlfriend of Gakuto. And the cool thing about Mitsuko is she's very shy, she's very bashful, and it seems like she, after the anime ends, she's the person that really has a lot of the fan service, a lot of the panty shots, and I really like that because, like, she always ends up in a very bad area where she either trips or her panty shows or a dog wraps her up and she looks like she's in bonnets and her panty shows or her shirt is tucked into her panties. So she's really shy and she's really cute and adorable and you can really fall in love with this girl. Now, the above student council, they're going to take the underground student council and put them in prison. That's what we've seen at the end of the anime. You see Kate comes in and she just rips the clothes off of Mari, the president of the underground the student council. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So in the manga, we see the same thing. Kate comes in, rips the clothes off, and we see Mako coming in and she's like, yo, you ain't gonna touch the president like that. And then we have Riza. She comes in with the kendo stick. She points it at Mako, and they kind of stand off for a second. Hana and Mako goes after her, and Riza really shows her skills. She shows her dodging skills, and the president's like, no, don't fight. Let's do what they say. So they go to prison, and that's the first half of it. And I'm really happy. I was like, yes, finally, the Underground Student Council can pay. So now we get to a point where the Underground Student Council, they're in prison and they're starting their hard labor. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I really felt like it wasn't really hard labor. It's like they're carrying some heavy beams, they're digging a few holes. Compared to the boy, compare and contrast to the boys, this type of work is nothing. So we have Mari, the president of the Underground Student Council. She's carrying this heavy beam, and we have Hana and Mako coming over, helping her out, helping her carry the beam, and we have Riza coming over and saying, no, that's for her to do it herself. We got Mako saying, you know what, we're not having it. She stands up for the president. She's like, no, we're not going to allow you to treat the president anyway. Now, Riza at this time is not having it. Riza, she's not having it. It's like, no, you're the prisoner. You don't tell me what I'm supposed to do. You're the prisoner. Y'all asses are supposed to work. And guess what? Now it's time for Mako and Riza to throw them bones, baby! Yes! Oh my goodness, I was so crumped for this. I was waiting for this because I wanted to see what Riza can do. We're getting ready to see these skills. I'm so hyped up. I had to walk away. I had to come back. I'm like, yeah, it's time to go ahead and throw those bones. Mako goes in. Riza goes in. And out of nowhere, Mako ended up getting the upper hand and putting Riza to sleep. Really? Really? Riza, you got put to sleep. Lost all street cred. All street cred is gone. Mako, the powerhouse, put you to sleep. I'm so disappointed in this. I am so angry at this. I had so much stock. When this fight started, I was like, hey man, give me 20 on Riza. No, Mako put her ass to sleep. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And at this point moment, this is where I came to the realization that the above student council right now is nowhere near on the level of the underground student council. I'm sorry, but they're nowhere near on that underground student council level. I was just so angry about that. I was just pissed off because I really thought Mako was going to pay a little bit. I really thought that someone from the underground student council was going to get punished. And at the end of the day, Mako put her to sleep. So what ends up happening, Mako pants end up ripping. She ends up getting sidetracked, and Riza end up waking up, taking advantage, and taking Mako out. At this point moment, we have Kate coming in, and they're all kind of mad. It's like, yeah, we're going to punish you. And the president, she gets on her hands and knees, and Kate says, you know what, if you beg me, I might give y'all a break. And I might forgive Mako. And the president, Mari, gets on her knees, and she begs. And at that point moment, I was curious. I was like, that's interesting. Mari is bending over backwards for Mako. I never seen that in the anime. Like, she's really actually bending over backwards, begging and pleading. So, at this point moment, we really didn't have any backstory on why Mari is doing this. So, I'm like, wow, I'm really shocked. Like, this is interesting. So the next part we have is Gakuto and Raji getting ready to be guards in the prison. And I'm like, yes, finally, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. Maybe they're going to get some backbone and they're going to get some payback. So that's the main reason I thought they was getting ready to be guards. And they got hired by the above student council. So, you know, like, stuff is about to get really, really good. So their first day on the job, Mako pants rip in half. And they're like, don't look! And they all turn around. Then you have Riza. She takes her candlestick and she points it at the boys like, turn around. You're the guards, they're the prisoner. Don't you look away. You know, like you the one that's supposed to be dictating the rules, not them. So at this point, I was very disappointed. I was really mad because I was like, wow, come on now, Gakuto and Raji. Y'all can do so much better. So we have Kate. She comes in and she starts picking on Mako. And out of nowhere, Mako just starts sweating all over. And she started kind of stumbling around like she was caught off guard. And you're sitting back and you're like, what the hell just happened? You know, it was just like she was just making fun. She was singing a song and she was just making fun. And Mako just tripped out. Just lost it for a second. So we're like, okay, that's interesting. Because remember, we still haven't went in the past yet. So we really don't know what's actually happening. Why did Mako trip out like that? So later on, the underground student council, they're sitting in jail and they're eating their food. And Hana thought it would be a good idea to sing the song that Kate was singing. And Mako just trips out. I mean, she throws her plate. She's all upset. She yells at Hana. She's like, no, don't do that. Don't sing that song. And the main reason is that song is very offensive to Mako. That song really makes her feel uncomfortable. So even though that song makes her uncomfortable, she becomes very angry, very mad, and she just really, really upset. And it's like, wow, that song really got to her. That song must did something very, very difficult to you in the past. Like something happened in the past we really don't know about. So we get to the next scene, and I'm telling you, right now, shit's about to get real. Shit's about to get really, really interesting. We have Gakuto and we have Raji in their new suits. They got their new prison guards all out. Oh my goodness, they look so badass. I'm not gonna lie, they got the shades, they got the black boots. I'm like, oh my goodness, they look so awesome. And at this point moment, they say, you know what? We're gonna take being a guard serious. And I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be good. So they're at the prison now, they're guarding the area, they're looking around. And we have Mako, she has a wheelbarrow and she goes right past Raji, you know, just like anything or she's just working. And out of nowhere, Raji was like, I'm gonna paraphrase. He was like, hey bitch, come here. You know? People looked around like, who the fuck is he talking to? You know, I was even shocked. I'm like, whoa. And at this point, I thought, you know, he was gonna bitch out. I thought he was gonna, they're like, I just said you just went kind of fast. No. He was like, you're pretty reckless with that wheelbarrow. You got mud on my new prison guard uniform. You know? Just straight up to her. You got mud on it. You know what? You gotta be punished. I was like, whoa, okay. Wow. Okay. She needs to be punished. What's she gonna do to her? So he was like, you know what? Do a bridge starting right now. So Mako, she folds her arms, she does a bridge, and she's like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me act out so you can extend my prison time. Well, guess what? It's not going to work. Doing a bridge is like work for me. And out of nowhere, Raji comes over and he sits on her chest and he's like, shut up. I'm trying to read my book. And everyone's just stunned. Even Riza is sitting back and it's like, what? Boy. Everybody is just shocked. And you can see Mako's face, like she can't breathe. She can't hold up all that weight. The underground student council's like, she can't do it. And out of nowhere, Gakuto's like, you shut up. He's even getting bodied about it. And I'm like, yo, this is what's up. This is what's good. This is awesome. So we're in the next scene, and Raji, he's in there. And he takes the water hose. He's like, you know what, Mako? You're dirty. And he starts spraying her with the water hose. He's like, pursue the precision. She's on the wall like this, backwards. And he just starts spraying her with the water hose. I'm like, yo, this is what I'm talking about. At this point, I gotta say, man, Raji was getting nothing but street cred. He was just street cred. Like, that's what I'm talking about, boy. That's my boy. So he goes in, and she has this little panda picture on the crotch of her ass where her pants ripped in half earlier from a fight. And Raji goes in, and he rips that panda picture off. He just rips that patch off. Just rips it off. And I'm like, yo! And out of nowhere, Mako trips out. She just loses her shit. And I'm like, ah, shit, Raji. She's about to beat your shit in. She's about to beat you into the ground. She goes after Raji, and you will not believe this. You will probably have to read the manga yourself to believe this. Raji bodies her ass. He grabs her and tosses her across the room. What? What? I could not believe it. Like, I was just stunned. I could not believe it, baby. I was like, did Raji just body you? Street cred. At this moment, I'm sorry, but he was getting more street cred than Kiroshi. He was rising up the ladder. He just bodied Mako. Now, Mako did end up getting the patch back. When she went in, she grabbed the patch, but she still got bodied. And I was like, yo, he just manhandled Mako. Everybody, even Riza was just stunned. The Underground Student Council was stunned. And you know what? I'm going to leave it right there for the time being. That's right. Next time, we're going to focus on what happened in the past and what's happening next. But for these few chapters, I got to say, I really enjoyed it. I'm really liking what's happening. Now, I feel like it's a totally different pace from where the anime left off. Where the anime, we had the boys that was been punished. There was a lot of fan service. Where in this area, there's still a lot of fan service, but I feel like the violence has really dropped very, very low. I really want to see the Underground Student Council punished and brutally beat like the boys was. But at the moment, the Underground Student Council, they're really having a walk in. This is a walk in. This is a really cakewalk because the punishment they're having is not really hard. It seemed like some hard labor, but when you have someone like Mako on your team, she does really all the hard labor, and the other girls like Hana and the president, they really kind of do the really of the light work. They're not really doing a lot of heavy lifting. None of them really getting beat up. They're not really getting like physically punished. So right now, I really feel like they're having a very, very easy time. Their time haven't got extended. They're very smart in doing everything they tell them to do. But at the same time, there's no torture happening at the moment. For the boys, it seemed like everything good is going with the boys. I will say that Soji did kind of mess his date up with his girlfriend. He listened to Kiyoshi. We're going to focus on that a little bit more in the next video. But right now, that's all I have to say. That's my views and thoughts on the manga so far. But please rate, subscribe, comment, and share. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. Matane.